Okay, I am trying this for a second time because I did not realize that my microphone was picking up all kinds of background noise and it was making it very distracting. Um, I felt like this was a perfect video for me to make in this season of my life. Um, Stress and change, unfortunately, have been something I've dealt with a lot in this past year. So, I'm going to back all this up by saying I am unfortunately some of the cause of my stress. Um, my perfectionism, my constant striving, goal making, pushing myself. Um, Even just getting slightly older, I start worrying like, oh, I have all these things that I need to accomplish, all these things that I need to do. Um, Come on, go faster, faster. Let's get this done. Um, so I can do, let's do this in 5 years so then I can go and do this next 5 years. And so I kind of make this for myself. Um, and I realize that. And I'm working on that. But yeah, all this stuff is kind of heightened by my own pressure that I put on myself. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit why I've also been MIA the past year. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping I'm in a slightly better season. To be honest, the past 3 months I've been super burned out. I'm on holiday break right now, so that helps. It's probably been the first time that I've been able to just like sit down and think and process something that I need to do and have not been doing because I've been stuck in this terrible SE loop, which is very destructive to me personally. Um, it being my weakest function, and it's just been very destructive. So to start, I'm going to talk about like a few different things that have changed in my life recently and kind of my reaction to it and um, maybe the direction they're going in the future. So education for me, I was taking some college courses and then decided that the direction I was taking was not what I was passionate about, which was very hard for me to admit. I think I allowed myself to flounder and struggle through that period of time longer than I needed to because I wasn't willing to admit to myself or to others. Um, Me being a very planning type of person where I have everything planned out A, B, and C, 1, 2, 3, this is what I'm doing, this is the path I'm taking, this is how I'm going to get here. And because I had to admit that I was maybe going to take a different path that was not easy. I had to eat some humble pie. So my original direction was more CPA, and now my direction is more biology, horticulture focused. I don't know why I didn't go this way earlier. I did extremely well in science in school, often testing off the charts. Even though I struggle sometimes in other areas, science was always, I love science, I have a passion for it. I have a great passion for horticulture and only found this out through different life circumstances. Um, I'm not sure if I would have found it out on my own or not. Maybe it would have taken some time. Um, so that kind of leads me to my career changes. Right now, my day job is in horticulture. It's more production focused. Part of horticulture is in a large company with, um, I guess I have like more like leadership kind of position. It's good. There's been some obstacles and a lot of change and a lot of double the stress than what I was used to before. Um, on the weekends, I'm working with a grower who focuses on prize plants that would be like show worthy or for breeding. It's very small and plant focused. And then one day a week. So right now I'm working 3 jobs. So I have my job I was telling you about, and then the job that I work with the grower, and then I have, I work 1 day a week teaching, freshman and sophomore. And it's an entire day that, it's very classically focused is the style of teaching. So because the students are tackling things like Shakespeare and Latin and debate and higher sciences, math, logic, all those things. I have learned a lot through it. I originally did not want to do it. Teaching is not necessarily my thing, but I took it up because I felt like it was an opportunity of growing and stretching myself in something that I'm not, well, not necessarily pick for myself. I'm definitely not the teacher type, and I know the whole idea of getting up in class and speaking in front of, even though it's just high school students, was not really my cup of tea. But some of the subjects I was passionate about, so it ended up working out and wasn't a problem. But to be honest, it wasn't something that I was super thrilled about, and I still struggle from week to week with prep, because basically my week looks like this. I go to work every day, I come home, I spend my entire evening lesson planning, and then I spend all my my weekends working somewhere else. So yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of time to do things that I love to do. I mean, I've not gotten as many books read this year as I wanted to. I had some, just fun, more spontaneous, educational opportunities or experiences or learning opportunities. I just haven't had a lot of time for that. My living arrangements have changed too. I moved out. Right now I'm at my parents' house to make this video because I don't have Wi-Fi at my house. And there's a reason for that. I think that technology has taken over way too much in our life. I mean, I really appreciate the informational advantages of technology, but it's just taken over so much of people's lives, and I prefer not to be involved in it as much. So that's been nice. But yeah, so I moved out 8 months ago, and it was a project house. It had been a foreclosure for a year, so it kind of set on that market or whatever. And prior to that, 20 years bachelor pad, so it needed a lot of work. I've had experience in that. My family doing remodeling, so I kind of grew up in that field, knew how to do a lot of that stuff. Still learned a lot. It was good. I had a very distinct idea in my mind what I wanted everything to look like and how I wanted it to be done, what I wanted to learn from it. So yeah, and I had a timeline that I had in my mind, so that was a lot of pressure to make sure everything was done correctly. And I learned a lot. I did a lot of the work myself, and I learned a lot. So it was a great experience. It's nice to have my own place, but I struggle with, again, perfection. I have a certain idea what I want to look like on a regular basis, to be neat, clean, and orderly, and I work crazy hours and I'm just not around. So it doesn't always look the way I would like it to. And yeah. It's okay. I would say also adjusting to, more new social group. I have a few old friends, but yeah, a lot of adjustment in that area, which has not been easy. If you're not great with people to start with, if you don't really have a context or a history with them, it can be difficult. And sometimes walking through all that and creating a history and everything, all the dirty stuff you have to go through to get there. And so it's not been the easiest. Sometimes, and honestly, at the moment, people are not really seeing me at my best. Like I said earlier, I don't have a lot of extra energy for that kind of stuff. After I just do my basic stuff, there's just not enough hours in the day, not enough time. And, to top all that off, as I mentioned earlier, is my own pressure I put upon myself, plus the always reoccurring theme in my mind of what could be. This could be better. This could be like this. And so if something doesn't match up that standard, it's constant rolling around in my mind of how could it be made better? How could you step over this obstacle? And I've been experiencing this at work and education, and my vision for the future. And I've had some things leapfrog my schedule. I've had some people come in and turn things upside down to a certain extent. I had a neat little plan, and then they came in and they disseminated it, and I don't necessarily have power over it. So the loss of power or control, which isn't healthy, but that feeling of being in control, losing that, and then, having pushed upon you what somebody thinks, this is how it should be, and having to cope with that, and cope with, like I said, leapfrogging of your schedule, having things put in your face that there's not hope for it. There's not a good answer to it. You won't ever be able to make it work out. Missing out on opportunities. I had a big opportunity a couple months ago that I unfortunately missed out upon because I was pushing in one direction, thinking something was going to go one way, and ended up going another way, and I missed the boat. And I beat myself up for that, and beat myself up for the things that I don't have good answers for, politically, philosophically, relationally. So I feel like I'm stuck. A never-ending spiral of responsibilities, and where I'm stuck at work at the moment, where I'm stuck with education, and where I'm stuck with these things I have no good answers for. And that's difficult to deal with and to stay positive in that kind of environment. And maybe I will have a breakthrough very soon. Maybe things will start working out. Maybe I'm just in a tough spot at the moment, and that's what I keep telling myself, and I'm just hoping that I'm right. It's difficult. I think the issues that I'm talking about that I don't have answers for or any good option is probably the hardest, on top of everything else. So I welcome your comments and your suggestions and your own experience when you've been dealing, stuck in a loop or a negative negative rut of some sort. I have some suggestions on videos. I have some ideas. So you'll probably see some videos hopefully in the near future. We'll see. I cannot promise anything at the moment, as I have learned. But hopefully I will have some content coming, and so any kind of feedback would be awesome. So thanks for listening to my rant.